Time for the Inside Corner starring JP Morosi. JP is unflappable and perhaps the nicest guy in this business, but he was hot when the light string got caught on his head. This is earlier in the week. JP Morosi, good morning to you. Explain yourself. You're not pleased. I can tell by your face. I don't see that face often.
Good morning, Lauren. Yeah, that was a fun moment there at Petco. And, of course, all of us, when the surprise comes, whether it's a shade in your face or the Gatorade bath after the game, you want to try to remind yourself to just stay calm.
That's right.
Because the camera's always rolling and the mic is always hot.
That's
and
a good point,
I'd like
JP.
to think that was, what do you think, D-Roll? As perturbed as I could have been, I tried to be as
you handled that
matter of fact as I could be.
Yeah, you handled that better than 99% of people that work here.
Absolutely. It's okay to have a little edge, JP. Don't forget that. Hey, your better half is a doctor, but Rays fans clinging to hope with regards to Shane McClanahan. Pitched last week at Yankee Stadium. It was our showcase game. And JP, when he exited the game, we were thinking, is it the back? Is it tightness? What is it? It's worse. Give us an update on Shane McClanahan.
Right, Lauren, it is forearm, potentially elbow, and the most important thing and the tough news for the Rays and their fans right now is that Kevin Cash, the Rays manager, said yesterday that it is now unlikely that we're going to see Shane McClanahan pitch again this season. Surgery is among the options being considered by the Rays at the moment, and really it is devastating news for someone who's been a back-to-back All-Star, 11-2 this year, one of the very best starting pitchers that we've got in the world. And to your point, Lauren, the concern that we saw upon him leaving that game last week was magnified by what doctors have seen in the days since then. So the Rays still looking for different opinions on exactly what they're going to do with Shane. But again, the headline here, unlikely to pitch for the balance of the season. Of course, already this year, Jeffrey Springs, Tommy John surgery, Shane Baz, Tommy John surgery, Drew Rasmussen also lost for the season. They do hope to get Josh Fleming back in the days to come. Tyler Glasnow had a back issue, actually, that kept him out of his most recent start in Detroit, and the Rays hopeful that after getting an injection into his back, that Glasnow will be good to go. But as we can see, Lauren, here is now the drama of being on the other side of the trade deadline, no other chance really to upgrade your rotation. This means they're going to have to lean heavily on the likes of Eflin and Savali in the weeks ahead.
We certainly wish Shane well, one of the stars of our sport. Meanwhile, Cody Bellinger playing like a star. I was reading what he could, JP, command on the open market. What's the future for him? Because the play's outstanding recently.
Lauren, it is fascinating. In many ways, Cody Bellinger might be the very best pure one-way position player available on the open market this winter. Wow. He has played himself into that category. We're talking about someone who's been Rookie of the Year, MVP, such an elite player early in his career with the Dodgers. Then injuries took over, but by all accounts, Cody has been able to make that shoulder sound again. And look at what he is doing with 2 strikes. D-Row, Roflo, Lauren, look at these numbers. Batting better than 300 this year, doubling the average that he had last year with 2 strikes, improving his approach against left-handed pitching as well. We are talking quite simply about one of the very best players in the sport right now. Check this out, too. Again, as we talked about, the approach against left-handed pitching, more than 100 points of a jump. So some really good adjustments that he's made there with the Cubs hitting group. And you can just tell he has found a home in Chicago. Now, the question, of course, will come for the Cubs. For how much longer? They'd love to keep him, but as we're talking about now, it's going to be Shohei, and then probably a little bit of a gap, and then Cody Bellinger, likely the next most coveted position player on the market.
I think a lot of us thought, what'd you say?
Both. They can afford it. Both.
Woo.
Sign Cody right now and then go get Shohei.
They got it like that.
They got it like that. I didn't even think he'd be there after the deadline. I mean, those were the conversations you and I were having leading up to it. And it's not just Cody. I mean, Mike Tauchman, you saw the highlights. Robert was reading it earlier. I was reading in The Athletic, and the title, JP, was something to the effect of how the Cubs get such a thunderous lineup. How did they? What's the answer to that?
Well, Lauren, it is a great question. It's been an incremental evolution of the Cubs lineup, if you will. And let's remember, Dansby Swanson, of all those high-priced shortstops that have moved around the last couple off seasons, there probably hasn't been a better signing than Dansby Swanson. He had the one brief injury, but for the most part, he's in the lineup very consistently on a daily basis, as all the Braves players in Atlanta are. He's carried that ethic up to Chicago as well. So great athlete, great defender. They brought back Jeimer Candelario, who's had a big impact already in a brief time since coming back into the Cubs organization. Of course, he was originally a Cub, traded to Detroit, then signs with the Nationals after being non-tendered. And to your point, the Cubs made that pivot. They were thinking about potentially moving Bellinger and Stroman. Instead, they add Candelario, and D-Row talked about it. Mike Tauchman, what a story he is. Last year playing in the Korea baseball organization for the Hanwha Eagles, comes back over to the U.S., and the Cubs and Jed Hoyer really crediting Justin Stone, their director of hitting, with whom Mike Tauchman hits during the offseason. Tauchman, a native of the great state of Illinois, went to Bradley University, and so he would hit in the offseason with Justin Stone, and pretty good recommendation about bringing him in. And here we are, Palatine, Illinois. So this is he's now the Palatine Pounder. That's his name there with the T-shirt to match number 40. Get that obvious-t-shirts.com. I would say, Lauren, there are very few places where T-shirts are better worn and styled with greater passion than the Wrigley bleachers.
Yes.
So we may see some of that flavor here, even as we're in Queens, New York for tonight's showcase game.
D-Row told me about that with his time in Chicago on the north side. Cubs and Mets on our MLB Network showcase game. JP Morosi on the inside corner. Appreciate the time, as always.
Thanks, Lauren. All the best. Thank you.